This podcast is a member of the Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network. Visit voicesofwrestling.com to hear the rest of our great podcasts, as well as show reviews, columns, opinions, and updates across the world of wrestling.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Super J Cast. I'm Joel, joined by Damon McDonald. Damon, I'm going to whisper it might be coming home. It might be.
You know, a little nervous, you don't jinx it. You know, good morning everyone. Good morning, or afternoon, or evening. Joel's excited. Joel's nervous. I've never seen Joel like this before in my life.
No, Damon, it's the first tournament final in my lifetime. We haven't been in one since 1966. We don't know what to do with ourselves because this whole "it's coming home" thing. It's a meme. You know, it started off as a tongue-in-cheek thing. It was a song for Euro '96, which was hosted in England. So that's why they're saying, you know, it's coming home. Association football, depending on who you believe, may have been invented in the UK. So, you know, the tournament coming back to England, so football's coming home, blah blah blah. But that song, right? If you listen to it, it is punctuated by little audio clips of the England team fucking up, like all our spectacular failures over the years. So the whole point of that song, the whole point of "It's Coming Home" is like, you know, we know we're not going to win. We know there's going to be some spectacular failure somewhere down the line, but we're going to, you know, get emotionally invested in it and have a good time regardless. But somehow that seems to be misinterpreted by the entire rest of the planet as, oh, look at these arrogant England fans. They think they're going to win everything. We don't. That's the point. We know we're shit. We think we're shit. We've been hardwired to expect failure for most of our lives. And now we've actually made it to a final. We don't know what to do with ourselves. We're flying blind here.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good feeling. It's exciting. The anticipation. It's almost like Christmas. You know, Christmas is great. You know, you get gifts. Santa came, but it's the anticipation that is in many ways, even better than the actual thing.
Well, I bet it's more like Christmas, but you're not Christian. Like, you're a Muslim, and then Santa's come down your chimney. You're like, well, what are you doing here? I don't even believe in you.
Right. I expect to see you here. Right. Yeah. Let me ask you this. Penalty kicks, right? We were in penalty kicks. Being a little nervous? Were you a little on the edge of your chair there, Joel?
For the Denmark game last night, I was terrified. As soon as they scored that free, I just had a bad feeling about the game. As soon as they scored that free kick, I was like, oh, well, we've lost. You know, even though that was only like half an hour in or something, I was like, oh, well, you know, we fucked it.
Right.
So I was tense, I was nervous, I did not enjoy any of that match at all. And yeah, I as the match went on, as we went into extra time, I was just sort of sizing up the England players, thinking, right, who's going to miss when we hit the penalty shootout? Who's going to be like the
new
Gareth
king of the losers?
Or the David Batty? You know, who's going to be the person who becomes the scapegoat for failure this time?
Yeah, carries the torch.
Yeah, but well, we scraped through. It was an exciting game. I'll give it that. But I'll tell you one thing that has slightly surprised me. Maybe this is naive of me, but everyone hates us. Or just judging by my Twitter timeline, lots of people just like frothing at the mouth, just so angry with, well, one, the dive for the penalty, which, you know, fair enough, it's very, very soft. I can't really have taken any issues with that. But the number of people, and a lot of Irish friends of mine, just absolutely livid at the prospect of England doing well at something, which, again, I guess I kind of understand that, but it did take me aback a bit, like, whoa, we're the bad guys here. No one wants us to win, but you're at rest assured we probably won't, because Italy are a lot better than us. So I will. I was going to say I will take a close defeat in the final. I wouldn't take that. Why should I? Let's give it a go. You never know what's going to happen.
Exactly.
I would say Italy are favourites. They are a better team than us.
Okay, fine. I'll give you that. But home field, home pitch advantage, right? Right, you're playing in Wembley, right?
That is correct. Oh man, just watching it, like a nearly full Wembley Stadium just rocking. One of my friends was there sending me videos of everyone, the crowd popping off, singing Sweet Caroline. I was so envious. But at the same time, this feeling like, yeah, football's back. Next season there's going to be full capacity crowds for Premier League games. And, setting aside whether or not that's a good idea, for me, in the relative safety of my apartment, watching it from the other side of the world, it's pretty special, Damon.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. And then, all right, so again, you're going to have, 70, 80,000, maybe even more in that fucking building, right? Bob Geldof's going to come out. It's going to be great. It's going to be just like Live Aid. And then, sometimes things like this have to happen, right? And I need it for it to happen because then you give the Maple Leafs some fucking hope. It's like if you could break your jinx.
The Maple Leafs of international football, aren't we? That's why I don't get why people hate us so much, because we never fucking win anything. We're crap. So, let us have this one. Come on.
I guess, do the people hate the team or do the people hate the fans? Because I will say this, internationally...
They hate English media, right? English media are scum, definitely. Yeah. Give them that one. English fans...
You don't have the best reputation.
A sizable proportion of them are scum, booing, taking the knee and booing the national anthem. That is shit behaviour from shit people.
Right.
But the actual team itself, like the squad of players, in my lifetime, they're probably one of the most likeable group of players and manager, with the exception of Harry Kane. Still hate him, even though it pains me to say that he is a brilliant footballer. I still hate him because, the Arsenal-Tottenham rivalry runs deep in my blood. There have been so many occasions watching Arsenal-Spurs games where he's completely fucked us that I can't just put that all to one side and be like, go on, Harry, my son, do it for England, do it for the Queen. Right. But, I think it's probably just the sort of metaphysical concept of England that annoys people because man, they were very, very cross. People on Voices of Wrestling slack people on Twitter just like, wow, fucking England.
I'm rooting for you. I am rooting for you, if that means anything. And I will say this, I kind of feel like a lot of the people I know, and again, casual fans, they're not, but I mean, you got a lot. I feel like I'm going to have some people at my bar. We're going to have some people there. I mean, we don't know shit all, but you're going to have our support. And I'll go so far as to say this here on the Super J-Cast, the worldwide leader in New Japan Pro Wrestling media. England wins, and there will be a celebration at Wembley Stadium that will lead to Covent Square. And to
what did you just say? Lead to where?
Is it Covent Square? Covent Garden.
Covent Garden.
I fucked up. You know what?
Stop getting London wrong, Damon.
My bad. I haven't been there in a while. Oxford Street. Yeah. All that. You're going to have a party. I think you're going to have a big, massive celebration. Everyone's going to get COVID again.
All my strong zeros in one go.
Right? And they're going to shut down the country again, and everything will be great. And I'm hungry like the wolf. All right, very good. That's our footy talk for the day, brought to you by Verizon Wireless.
Who do you fancy in the final then? England or...
I told you, England. England's winning.
Okay,
England's winning.
You're feeling it. Okay, great. Let me ask you another question.
Yes.
We've talked about players. Maybe England have the better players. Italy have the better team. Do you think the English players or the Italian players have the more well-groomed pubic hair? And is that something that you would, if you were an elite athlete, if you were one of these players, you're going to be in the starting lineup for the European Championship final, would you have a little shave in the downstairs department before the big match?
Yes. It's almost like the swimmers who shave all of their body hair before they get in the pool to feel a little more sleek. And it's more a, you think it's more of a mental thing than anything else. But why wouldn't you? You'd be nice and clean and smelling fresh. Look, let's be honest here. The footballers, they're probably, if you're going to rank athletes on the hotness scale, I mean, I would put them, and like, you know who else, like Australian rules football? Those fucking guys, I mean, every one of them. My wife will sit there and watch that fucking shit. She don't know what she's looking at, but she knows what she's looking at. I guarantee you. I think the football. I think it plays him. Who's the star player for Italy right now? Trust me, I'll get into the Manscaped. But who's the football player? Who's the top guy for Italy?
Federico Chiesa is getting a lot of plaudits at the moment. Mm-hmm. He scored a very good goal against Spain in their semi-final.
Harry Bush, I guarantee it. He's got pubes. he's got fucking pubes stretched from here to Roma. That was my Italian. Pretty good, right? Look, I'm kind of getting sick and tired of talking about it at this point. And I think you're getting sick and tired of listening to it if you haven't hit fast forward already. What are you going to do about those ugly, smelly, stinky pubes of yours? I'm talking to you. That's right. You in the car, you at work, you on the tube, the subway, you at home. What are you going to do? You've waited long enough. It's gotten to be a mess. This COVID situation and lockdowns and everybody still struggling with meeting up with friends and family. What are you going to do when it finally turns around and you got to get in front of people and you got to sit there with your big bruiser Brody-like bush just itching and scratching and stinking and smelling and just not feeling right? What are you going to do? When is this going to end? Let it end today. End it today by going to manscaped.com. If you go to manscaped.com, you'll notice for months I've been talking about that lawnmower 3.0, right? Every fucking time Damon gets on it. The lawnmower, guess what? It's been upgraded, improved. It's new. It's out there. Go to the website, manscaped.com. Check it out. I mean, the science behind this is unbelievable. Science has worked on two things for the past couple of years. I don't know if you know this. COVID vaccine, ball trimming. Yep. And Manscaped leading the edge, the cutting edge, leading the charge. Go to manscaped.com. Take care of that problem of yours. You're going to have to, you're going to meet people. You're going to be around people. And the people that you're with are begging you to do this. Make no mistake about it. The people with you, they're begging you to take care of this situation. Manscaped.com. JCast is the code, right? JCast. You're listening to the Super JCast. We give you a code. It's called JCast. You're going to get 20% off and free shipping. I don't know what else I can do for you. I don't know what else I can do to push you to do this because you stink. You're a smelly, awful human being. You honestly probably shouldn't leave the house at all until you get this taken care of. So now's the time. Manscaped.com. I feel like this is like an intervention for your pubes. John, your balls, they smell. I can smell them from here. Again, you're going to shave it down.
Is that aimed at a specific John?
not even specific. No, I'm just, general John.
John Moxley, Damon's calling you out.
No, I'm not. Listen, Renee calls. She let me know. She said, "Pew."
Although Mox, to be fair, Mox strikes me as a guy who just let it all go wild down there.
Yeah, exactly. What do you think? You think Renee's loving that? You think Renee's sitting there like, "Oh, thank God, I got to dig through this fucking wild tundra of pubes to find this cock of yours," and God Almighty, it stinks. It stinks to high heaven. Will you clean up down there? Oh, I took a shower. Nah, not enough. Not enough. You smell like a fucking onion bag, for Christ's sake. Manscaped.com. John Moxley, Manscaped.com is where you got to go, pal. All right? Go there. Don't worry about hopping around. Hey, listen, you're hopping all over the country. Wrestling here, wrestling there. You're like the Terry Funk. You're like the Terry Funk of pro wrestling now. Good on you. Your balls stink. Manscaped.com, 20% off. The IWGP U.S. champion needs a cleanup. What am I talking about? I'm pinning this one. Poor John Moxley.
It's the best one yet.
Yeah. By the way, this has nothing to do with John Moxley, but you get my point. You know what, listener? You are John Moxley. You are John Moxley. So get it taken care of. 20% off. Free shipping. Manscaped.com. Where? Manscaped.com. Who? Manscaped.com.
My favourite part of the show, Damon. So if and when Mox sorts out his pube situation, he will be defending his IWGP US title against one Carl Anderson on Dynamite. So, I mean, this is an interesting one. One, the fact that he is defending it against someone who, as far as we know, is not a full-time contracted New Japan talent at this point. So, obviously, something has changed in the ways between New Japan and AEW that maybe AEW have been given New Japan's blessing to defend that title against other people on Dynamite. And secondly is a little bit of intrigue in what Carl Anderson could bring to the table as a singles wrestler, because I'm sorry, but just bringing up that 2012 G1 final isn't going to cut it anymore. What have you done for me lately, Carl Anderson? But what do you make of Mox defending this title next week against Carl?
There's obviously the tripod of pro wrestling, as we'll call it, with the talent exchanges to and fro. I'd like to see what he has in the tank. I mean, again, name me a great Carl Anderson match in the past 5 years. I'm sure he could still go, right? I'm sure he could still go. Let's put it this way. I'm not too concerned with that, but okay. And I will say this. A lot of Doc Gallows and Carl Anderson all over that New Japan world. I couldn't get past seeing their faces everywhere. So, look, they're in the mix. I think, and here's the thing too. I think everybody kind of knew it was just a matter of time and COVID and all that stuff. And when they when they were released by WWE, I think everyone was kind of like, all right, well, it's just a matter of time for this, and then COVID and all that stuff. So, yeah, I think we all knew this was bound to happen. And I don't think there's any shock in the fact that Carl Anderson is a guy that they can trust. It's not anybody who's going to be that rogue dude that's not in AEW or not in New Japan currently. That they would trust to do that, right? So, and I'm sure I would not say this is like a test or anything silly like that, but again, I'm sure this is a little warm up to get everybody back into the Carl Anderson, Doc Gallows mix, because I think it's a given that they'll be in the mix very soon.
Okay, other piece of news here. Shota Umino has resurfaced in the UK. There's an excellent article, Voices of Wrestling, by Neil David, who's done tremendous work there, summing up how he's done so well so far in his excursion, what we can look forward to in the future. So he has a match on July 18th, his return match against Dan Maloney, live in Bristol. Another one that stood out, August 21st, he's challenging Ricky Knight Jr. for the Southside Heavyweight Championship. Have you seen any of the images or videos that have surfaced of Shota Umino? Your thoughts on him?
I did see. Who sent me that? Was it you? Somebody sent me something.
It was, yeah. It was me that sent it.
There you go. I saw that entrance, and I made a comment that I don't know. It looked weird. Not like I don't know what it was. Like he looked like I mean, again, I'm sure he wasn't, but he looked like he kind of was hitting the bottle in the back. He just kind of looked like there's a weird look and stare, and I don't know. I don't know if he's trying to fucking sort things out. Look, I think we all can agree he's not going over there to learn how to do a fucking arm drag, right? He's not going over there to he's going over there, as I've said 1 trillion times, to learn how to be a major pro wrestler. he's going over there to learn how to conduct yourself in the ring, how to conduct yourself out of the ring. Again, wrestle a bunch of different people in the process, but to take the next level of being a professional wrestler, right? Because, again, when he comes back, we're hoping big things. So, but maybe he's just trying to iron out a new gimmick, a new thing. I don't know. But it did, when you sent me that, Joel, correct me if I'm wrong, did it not look odd to you? It's like something was off there?
Yeah, he didn't. Maybe it just wasn't a very flattering angle, because it was a fan cam, to be fair, so I'll reserve judgment until I see like a properly produced one. But he didn't look particularly confident. It wasn't like, what, this guy's a star. But yeah, we'll wait and see on that one.
Yeah. I mean, listen, was that his first time in that building? Might be. I don't know. Again, maybe nerves. Who knows? I mean, what the fuck? We're speculating over nonsense. But I did see the video, and I was just kind of like, oh, okay. Yeah, it didn't feel. Again, it felt. I joked about it that he looks like he's bombed, but again, to me, it's kind of like, okay, I got to figure out a gimmick, or I was told this is my gimmick, or I work on this part of your presentation, and it just didn't look like he was comfortable in his own boots.
And we have a Never title match official for Resurgence on August 14th. Jay White will be defending the title against David Finlay. Tickets look like they're doing well there. About sort of 70-80% sold, just eyeballing it. So Sean asked, with Jay White finally going against David Finlay, do you think he will still go against Taguchi next, like he said when he first won the title? And who do you think is next for Tom Lawler on the live show if the title is on the line? So first of all, Damon, thoughts about Jay White defending against David Finlay? Do you think that's a worthy, for sake of argument, main event for that show?
I mean, there's always that history of those two growing up, young lions, always having that rivalry, right? So that's an interesting aspect. David Finlay getting a win over Jay White, clean as a whistle. So eventually, they're also somewhat limited on who's coming and who can go and who's available and who they can get in the country and all that stuff. So, yeah, it's fine. I mean, I think it's fine. And here's the thing too. What you also do is you do kill two birds with one stone, in the sense of, okay, you get a Jay White title defense, and you get a guy who you can give a title defense to, that you might not want to put on, a major show, right? It's kind of like one of those Long Beach title defenses, right? Where it's almost literally a Long Beach title defense. So yeah, I think it makes sense. I'm not shocked by it, and I think it's a solid. I mean, it'll be a good match. We know that, right? I don't think anybody's disputing that fact. I had some people ask me if I was going to Los Angeles for this. I don't have the money for this. A, I don't have the money for this. B, it's on the other side of the fucking country. I mean, if somebody wants to give me a fucking plane ticket. No, but let me take that back. If somebody wants to get me a first-class plane ticket, I'll go. And I'm sure I can get credentialed. I don't know. Probably not, though. I got too much shit going on, Joel. I can't be fucking around, hopping around the country. I just can't be doing it. Just can't be doing it. And it's hard now because there's no Jushin Liger, so that motivation for me to get on a fucking airplane, it's even harder. And you're not going to be there either, so I'll sit at home.
Yeah, exactly. If I'm not going to be there, no one should go. Star attraction.
I'm surprised it's not sold out yet. I'm surprised it's not sold out yet, to be truthful. I am a little shocked.
We're waiting to see what the card is, because people have been burned in the past by these US shows, haven't they? So it would figure that people are going to wait and see what the matches are before they put their hand in their pocket.
You're probably right, but I thought maybe just the idea of anything, for people who are starved to see some live pro wrestling, specifically New Japan. But I will say that there are people that are traveling for this show. I mean, there are people that I know. And what would you say, 70, 80% at this point? You know, all the major... All the major,
just looking at it, maybe around 300-400 tickets left, I would say.
Okay. All right, and I think they will go as the show gets closer and people get more hyped. And you're always going to have that walk-up audience. The weather, it's Southern California, and the weather's never terrible. I think they'll make. I think they'll sell out. But here's the problem with it. They'll sell the seats that they have allocated, but even again, I say this before, they'll shove fucking chairs in. They're like, you're not like, if you show up to that building, I would be absolutely shocked if they said, "Oh no, we're sold out. You can't get." You know what I mean? That's not fucking happening. They're gonna take your money and you're getting in to see that fucking. If they got to shoehorn you in, fire codes be damned. So. Yeah, I mean, look, people are excited. I think people are talking about these shows just as much as the other shows. And again, it's not, we're not talking about WrestleMania weekend or anything, but, I think people are hyped for it. I'm hyped for it, even if I'm sitting on my couch watching it. I'm hyped for it.
Yeah, so am I. And going back to those questions, I would love to see the Taguchi defense because serious Taguchi is... a joy to watch, like in that Hiromu match he had in Best of the Super Juniors last year. That was tremendous. And I think they will put a Tom Lawler defence, but we need to get through maybe the next set or two of strong taping so we can set up the next challenger. I don't know who it could be. Fred Rosser. Why not?
That's what I was thinking. I swear to God, that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Also, sticking with the tickets on sale, the tickets now on sale for strong tapings. Fighting Spirit Unleashed on August 16th at the Thunder Studio in Long Beach. So they're going to see 9 matches there, which will, presumably be, I'd say, about 3 strong shows. Looks like there may be about 125 seats. Again, selling really well. I can only, again, eyeballing it, about 15 of them left. So that is so exciting for me. Even though it is a small crowd, just over 100 people, I cannot wait to see strong with some fans in the house.
Yeah. I mean, I think that was the only element that was needed in a small studio, so it should be noisy and really feel like that old timey wrestling. I better see some Super J-Cast paraphernalia. Somebody with a T-shirt. I'll tell you what, wear a T-shirt at these fucking tapings, or you bring a sign,
bring a sign. Yeah.
If you bring a sign with any reference to the Super J-Cast, and you direct message us, I'll make it worth your time. How about that? I'll make it worth your fucking time. If that gets camera, it'll be edited, I'm sure. But if you can make it on tape with a Super J-Cast T-shirt or a sign, I will give you something to make it worth your while.
I will say this, Damon. When I was looking at this news article on the New Japan website, it did say critically acclaimed New Japan Strong. I mean, that's us, isn't it? That's me. I am the critic that is acclaiming it. So
yeah. Who else?
Show us a bit of love.
Yeah, it's really us. Like there's live shows for a fucking reason. You're welcome. I mean, not for nothing. I really feel like you not only drive that boat, you fucking built the boat. You built the boat.
I am Noah. It's Joel's Ark, and I'm taking the New Japan fans 2 at a time to Strong.
This is great. This is fantastic.
Let me ask you this. Elliot says, when Strong finally gets in front of a live crowd, which wrestlers will be the most beloved by the fans? I can see Clark Connors and Alex Coughlin getting over very, very well with a live crowd, personally.
Yeah. I think Rosser will do just fine. I'll tell you what, if they do the traditional New Japan, that Emerson, Lake, and Palmer, dun, 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 people are going to get fucking hyped. Again, I think people are just so excited to see some live pro wrestling. A lot of these people haven't seen it in over a year. Yeah, I mean, they're here's on paper, this is a fantastic show. Like for if you not to Gorilla Monsoon this, but if you put this show just about anywhere, it would do well. People would be excited. The idea of people being there is going to put this over the top, and I think we're going to be talking about this show for a long time. I really do. I just think this has the opportunity to be one of those. I'm not going to say crowd takes over the show type of events, but the crowd is going to help. Like, it's going to be, you know how like G1 in Dallas, where Okada and Tanahashi main event, and for a good 3 or 4 minutes, the crowd was just on their feet cheering for what they were seeing. I think we're going to have something of that element. You know what I mean? I think the crowd is going to be so fucking hyped. They're going to cheer everything. I don't give a shit what it is, what they put out there. They're going to go bonkers for it. But it's going to be one of those things where people are going to help elevate this show to a new level. Yep, absolutely. I believe that.
All right, well, moving over to news in the Japan side of New Japan, we have announced a pre-show Rambo match for the KOPW trophy at Wrestle Grand Slam in Tokyo Dome. And I like this, Damon. I think this is the right spot for KOPW. I'm glad to see the Rambo coming back again. And yeah, I always look forward to it. So I thought they did a good job with it at Wrestle Kingdom earlier this year. It's a perfectly fine spot for Yano and his antics. So yeah, I'm into this.
I like the Rambos when we go to Wrestle Kingdoms. I always did enjoy those. Because it's always the best part of those shows, though. I mean, of those that match is who's coming out next. You know what I mean? That is the best part. So I don't know. Maybe they throw in a couple surprises. Who knows? But yeah, I mean, I guess you're right in the sense that if we're gonna do it, this is probably the spot, time, and way to do it. So yeah, it should be fun. Again, just seeing who comes out next and surprises. Give me a surprise. Give me a name that you think there's a possibility of saying them. Jushin Thunder Liger.
I was just wondering if anyone from another Japanese, maybe get someone from GLEAT. I know I mentioned it last time. Let's throw El Lindemann in there. Big fan of his.
Yeah. All right.
Not going to happen, but it will be cool. So he comes out, everyone gets hyped on Twitter, and then he gets eliminated in like 30 seconds by Chase Owens.
Fucking awesome, actually. I would pop. All right. Okay. Cool. All right. And that is Tokyo Dome. Tokyo Dome. Tokyo. Are we talking? We're going to talk about Tokyo and their issues, or are we just fucking over it and they're going to figure it out?
Yeah. Well, state of emergency. Whatever. I'm bored of talking about it. Whatever. Yeah. Is it going to make a difference? We're going to have a bunch of people clapping politely, whether there's 5,000, 10,000 people clapping. I don't care. I don't give a shit. So I'm hand waving that one. Another bit of news here. G1 Climax 31 has been confirmed. So it's going to start on September 18th and 19th. Doubleheader in Osaka. The A block final will be at Yokohama Budokan on the 18th of October. And it will conclude on October 20th and 21st at the Nippon Budokan. So just interesting there that they're not having the final 3 shows all at the same venue, that they're splitting it between 2 venues. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah. I don't know if logistics had a issue with, logistics. I mean, maybe the buildings were, but I don't know. Who knows? Yeah, it does seem weird, right? It does seem weird. September through October. Okay. And they didn't give out any other dates, like any other cities, right? Just the start and the end, right?
They did list some other cities, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I did not copy and paste them into my notes.
Okay, no problem. But I'm sure they're your usuals, but we don't have all that. Philadelphia was not on that list, was it, Joel?
Neither was Pyongyang or Bangkok. No surprises, I'm afraid.
All right. Listen. No, that was it. That was just me. Dotting off.
Listen.
I didn't listen.
All right. Should we talk about some wrestling that happened then? The Kizuna Road shows from last week, Thursday, July 1st at Tokyo Korakuen Hall. Let's get straight to the third match. So some matches to hype up the Never 6-Man Championship feud. Special singles match. Yoshi-Hashi defeated Hiroyoshi Tenzan in 14 minutes 30 seconds with a butterfly lock. And I was very happy to go on New Japan World and find English commentary for these shows from Kevin Kelly. Much appreciated there. I like this one. I did just a little touch, the little slap at the start. Yoshi-Hashi giving Tenzan a slap around the face. Just tells us, I think, everything we need to know about this new and improved Yoshi-Hashi. He's laying in the forearms and the chops much harder than he used to. He really let up Tenzan's chest in this match, and I always enjoy Tenzan like, shit, as he's getting thrown into the barricade. I still wish he wasn't using the Mongolian chops. That does irk me. Every time he does one, I'm like, that's
Yeah.
You had a deal with Great Okan and you've reneged on that, and that is bad. You are a bad man. And of course, Tenzan, he is in the twilight of his career for sure, but I like the way they worked the Anaconda Vice into the match as a legitimately dangerous move that could conceivably get a win. Yoshi-Hashi sold it well, scrambling to get to the ropes. And then it just took a quick flurry at the end by Yoshi-Hashi to put him away. I liked having Tenzan trying to power out of the butterfly lock, but just fall back into it and tap out, even though the butterfly lock is a bad submission move. It's bad to look at, Damon. It's bad to see with your eyes. But a decent match from two professionals. They know what they're good at. They know what they're not good at. They got the crowd involved, play to their strengths. And Yoshi-Hashi even selling his shoulder in the next match with an ice pack when he was ringside supporting Goto. I thought that was a nice touch as well.
Yeah. I mean, you think you go back maybe even 2-3 years ago. I think it was a definite that a guy like Tenzan was pinning Yoshi-Hashi. So it was a nice, refreshing change there, right? To see that that has switched. You did mention the Mongolian chops, and it did annoy me to no fucking end because I did remember that in the middle of the match, and I'm like, this guy, like, not even this guy. Like, this company has just completely ignored it. like it never fucking happened, right? And, like, there's not even a tease for it, right? It's not even like, oh, I'm going to do it. And the ref's like, no, you can't do it. And, I didn't even see that. It was just, why do they...
Kevin Kelly saying, no, it's not the Mongolian chop, it's the Korakuen club. It's like, pull the other one, Kevin. Don't piss in my pockets and tell me it's raining. Come on.
His monitor went out. Yeah. Well, let me. I'm not going to say it anymore. I'm just going to ask the question instead of asking if I can ask a question. Would you rather have countless years of Tenzan pump faking the chops and being reprimanded, and him being like, oh, so frustrated, like, oh, what am I going to do? And you would have that for years. Or they just completely dropped it. What would you rather have?
I would.
Think about it.
What I was hoping after he lost the Mongolian chops is I thought there was going to be an imminent retirement match. I thought he was going to hang his boots up. There'd be one final blow-off match, maybe a tag match like Tenkoji against Empire or something like that, and that would be it, where they would play into that or something. But I don't care now. That's the problem. They put this stipulation, which I thought was cool at the time, and I don't care what they do. So there's your answer.
Yeah. Right. So I'd rather them drop it. Right. So again, speculation, because that's what we love to do here. Maybe you were right in the sense of that was the plan. And maybe they were like, we might need you because we don't have enough bodies here with the situation with the COVID-19. So we're gonna pretend this never happened because we need you, right? You might be right that was the planned way they were going, and they had to put the brakes on it.
Let's move on to the fourth match, which was Satoshi Kojima defeating Hiroki Goto in 15 minutes 11 seconds with the strongest arm, the lariat. We got Angry Goto here. He is rapidly approaching Angry Dad territory for me. Not necessarily in a bad way, but that's just the vibe he's given off. There was a nice tactical element here with Goto trying to take out Koji's lariat arm. Not dissimilar to the previous match, actually. Setting up this narrative where the dads, they're not as fast or as strong as they used to be, but they've got one big move, and that move is to be feared and respected. And so this, obviously it was the lariat for Kojima here. He had to improvise and use his left arm at moments in this match. And then eventually a bit of hubris from Goto. He tried to go lariat to lariat with Kojima, but he got turned inside out with the strongest arm for the loss. And you don't see Goto bump like that very often. So that was a cool finish there. And I'm just happy in general to see Kojima getting in some singles matches this year. He had his Kenta match at Wrestle Kingdom, the Ospreay match at New Beginning, the work he's doing in the States. Your thoughts on the match? What do you think of Goto taking the L here?
Yeah, I thought the match was good. And that was, I think, the thing. Like, you figured somebody's going to take a fall, right? And truth be told, if you put a gun to my head, I would have said Yoshi-Hashi. So I was a little bit surprised that it was Goto who was from Chaos, was the guy who lied. But then if you think about it, like, Well, I mean, I don't know. You could have gone the other way in the quote main event. I don't know. I was a little bit surprised. I didn't think Goto would be the guy to lie down. I think right now Hiroki Goto is the guy that is most jarring of how far we've fallen. And I say that knowing full well that he is a guy that's helped elevate meaningless titles and the company's, the way it's been booked, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But man, like to me, of all those guys, I mean, Ishii too, but Goto more is a guy who is, I think, swinging below where I think he should be. Does that make sense? Like it feels like he's a guy that is so lost with this company that he has to be where he is. He has to be here because we just have nothing else for the guy. Like with the dads, it makes sense. Okay, there's plenty of things that they can do, and it seems like they come in and out and challenge. And even Ishii, to a certain degree, the same way, even more. Yoshi-Hashi, we're now elevating. But then you got Goto, who's this just, what? Like, he has to be here because what else could you possibly fucking do with this guy? That is alarming to me that they haven't figured out what to do with Hiroki Goto yet.
I agree with you in principle. I think he's a really good wrestler and could be doing a lot more in this company. But at the same time, I'm not going to complain because I think the work he's doing for the Never Openweight Six-Man titles has been tremendous. And having a quality wrestler like him holding one of those titles is doing a lot to elevate the quality of matches and the prestige of those belts. So I'm not going to knock it too much, even though he could be doing more. So I think it's a decent spot for him. I'm just thinking it this way: like whoever's laying out the finishes is thinking, right, well, one of you three has got to lose one of these singles matches, and Goto's just like, yeah, I'll lose. I don't care. He strikes him as a guy who just doesn't give a shit at this point. And again, not in a bad way, but I don't think he doesn't strike me as the sort of person with a massive ego who would really be bothered about that sort of stuff because he's. Like I've said before, he's got that big dad energy. He's got his lovely family at home. That's what I think he looks forward to every day. He's not really fussed about putting over a legend like Kojima in a singles match at Korakuen Hall.
Right, and no one's complaining about that. To be clear, you know what I mean. Like that's that. If anybody's going to lie down, it can be him, especially against him. I don't know. Just weird to say. I just think there's so much more. I guess, but maybe you're right. Maybe it's a situation where it's like, you know what? I'm happy doing what I'm doing. I'm content. I'm doing what I want to do. I'm getting paid to do it.
Yeah.
Maybe
let's applaud him for being an important part of the resurgence of this division. Let's move on to the main event, a special singles match. Tomohiro Ishii defeating Yuji Nagata in 22 minutes 20 seconds with a vertical drop brainbuster. I hate to say it, but this is the first match for me for ages where the clap crowd thing really got to me because I think coming off the back of watching that England-Denmark game in Wembley Stadium erupting and you're seeing dynamite popping off in front of fans and then tuning into these guys like battering each other to mostly silence and some light applause. Like that was tough. I try to disregard it most of the time because I feel it's not really providing analysis to mention it. Like we all know it's there, we all know it's bad, but it was really notable here. But in spite of that, it was a really good match. Had a bit of everything. Your ball-headed bravado, the hard strikes, the big top rope suplexes. You had some submissions, some slaps, some fighting spirit spots. It's like baby's first New Japan match, isn't it? So not a great deal of nuance or depth, but two fun, grizzly, fighty boys having a party out there. Good stuff.
You consider what was being asked of both of those guys to not only have this singles match and then follow it up, with the actual tag match is pretty amazing if you think about it. considering the age of these guys. And again, they're all in great shape. Don't get me wrong. But again, that has to be in the back of people's minds of, Ishii's, 46, 45, 46? Mid to late 40s. Let's put it that way, right? Yuji Nagata, he's right there. I mean, the age factor has to play a huge factor in this. Joel just sent me a text message, by the way. I can't hear you, right? So hopefully you can hear me now, because I did have a button push that was muted. Yes. Joel, can you hear me?
I can hear you now, yes. But I heard none of your analysis about Ishii versus Nagata, I'm afraid.
Well, it was I was harping on the fact that these two gentlemen, again, Ishii, 45 years old, right? Born in 1975. Yuji Nagata, pushing 50, it feels like. They were asked a lot. Not only the singles match, but then to follow it up with the never tag. I mean, we're asking. This is the work
53,
of
Damon. 53.
Yeah. So we're asking these two guys to go out there and main event a show. Again, clap crowd, and they gave it their all, and then follow that up with, by the way, we need you, night later to put on this fucking never 6-man title match and make that great too, right? Can you do that for us, guys? 46 and 53 or whatever you say. You know what I mean? Like, that's saying something. You're asking them to be 20-year-olds. You're asking them to push back time. And I thought they did.
These are two. Sorry to interrupt, but these legends, two legends, being asked to go out in front of a crowd of like 290 people, a clap crowd, not even 300 people in Korakuen Hall, and can you guys beat the shit out of each other, please?
Right.
You expect any other wrestler to be like, what, in front of 300 people? Fuck off, We'll go through the motions, 12-minute match, a few rest holds, and then take it home. But nope. Not here, not these guys.
No, and again, it's not like these guys are, all right, they're 19 years old and they're trying to make a name for themselves, so they're going to go out there in front of those 300 people to just put on a fucking banger to get jobs or get more work. So that's not it. These guys are established in this company. They're literally grandfathered in. Yeah, that was the one thing that just rang in my head, was like, these guys do not have to do all this, and yet they were obviously asked to do this, and they knew the role that they had to play on these shows. 200 fucking people in Korakuen Hall, but they're sitting on their hands because they have to, and they're going out there and doing that shit. And then again, going out there and having a really good never 6-man match. But let's show some appreciation for these guys. Because it would have been very easy for them to be like, yeah, you know what? Let's do 10. Grab an armbar, grab a headlock. Whoop,
and which, to be fair, is historically has been the case with the never 6-man titles. It's been there, just let's phone it in. T-shirt Kenny, blah blah blah.
Right. I mean, once again, that shows the professionalism of those guys, number one. And number two, it shows the fact that, at the very least, I mean, it takes the company to help elevate a title, no doubt. But it also takes the people holding them to elevate a title. Because, again, I'll say it for the 400th time now, they could have taken, I wouldn't say a night off, but they certainly could have done a lot less than what they did here in this singles match. And again, as we kind of blend into the tag match, you got to tip your cap to them. That's. I think they went above and beyond what I would have expected from a 50-plus-year-old and a guy in his mid to late 40s who probably, and both of them body-wise, the fucking miles that they've put on their bodies over the years, they're probably the equivalent of a 70-year-old going out there and doing what they did. God bless them. God fucking bless them.
And that led us to Friday, July the 2nd, the next Kizuna Road show, again at Korakuen Hall. We'll skip straight to the main event here. Fifth match, Never Openweight 6-man Tag Team Championship match with the champions, the Chaos team of Yoshi-Hashi, Ishii and Goto, defeating the challengers, the third generation, Nagata, Kojima, Tenzan. So it was Goto who got the pinfall over Kojima after 26 minutes 50 seconds following a GTR. So again, I love the fact that the singles match has built up some little narratives going into this match. For example, Koji's lariat, the butterfly lock, the Anaconda Vice, they were all set up the previous night as dangerous, game-changing moves that played into the match here, of course. And I felt the little mini feuds between the three pairings were all escalated well here. There was real intensity, particularly to the Yoshi-Hashi Tenzan chop exchange. They were laying it in even harder than they had the previous night. And last time I praised this Chaos team for working on some really smooth double team, triple team moves. And now we're building on that by having guys like Kojima and Nagata escape and reverse some of them, which is really effective in building up your expectations, subverting them in little ways to get over your challenges. Because the challengers in the Never Six-Man division, they don't have that luxury. They don't have the back catalogue of big matches to build up signature team spots. But this Chaos team do. So you can put together a little headcanon of the DAD team, staying up at night in their hotel, watching tape on the Chaos team, planning their counters. And the DAD team themselves, they had an interesting dynamic there. They had Tenkoji as the experienced tag team. They know each other. They had some team moves. And then Nagata as like the third man, dare I say even the third wheel, who wasn't linking up as smoothly. He's just getting tagged into brawl with Ishii, and it all made sense. Like it was interesting that these matches are usually built around Yoshi-Hashi, especially at Korakuen Hall, but it was like a mini 24-hour redemption for Hiroki Goto, who figured out how to counter the strongest arm, get the win for his team, which he doesn't do very often for this trios team. So well done to him. And after the match, we had Evil attacking Tomohiro Ishii. He wants a match with Ishii. So there you go. What did you think of the match?
Match was good, and again, all the stories that led up to the title defense, with Goto losing, taking the fall, getting the win here, and looking strong and powerful, and there were times where him, it didn't really feel like he was in a whole hell of a lot of peril, in helping carry the team. Look. What is it, 27 straight wins for them, or 28 that I hear, or something along. Chris Sampson. We need to get on the horn with Chris to get our stats. Stats. But yeah, I mean, it's like, again, these are guys that, Evil aside, and truth be told, I can't necessarily say I'm looking forward to Evil Tomohiro Ishii. But, okay, great. These guys have done a remarkable job of giving themselves something to do, giving people who, again, need something to do, and making it feel important. I loved this build. I loved this, I don't know if I would call it a feud, but I loved everything about this program for this pocket of time between these two teams. Loved it. It's going to be a sad day when they lose these titles. It's going to be a sad day because I don't know if anybody was like, okay, yes, we give Chaos these titles and we're going to be where we are with these titles. But whoever gets these things next they have some work to do to maintain the pace that this team has set. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much more we can praise the way that these titles and this team has elevated these titles and elevated themselves in the process. So, yeah, it's gonna be a sad day when they drop them. Sad day.
Yeah, agreed. I also want to touch base on the first two matches on this show, which were Kota Ibushi defeating Yota Tsuji in 12 minutes 10 seconds and Shingo Takagi defeating Yuya Uemura in 11 minutes 3 seconds. So this was sort of bonus matches added on to the end of these Young Lions Gauntlet series. And J. Michael for Voices of Wrestling wrote a tremendous piece on VOW, analysing each match from Uemura and Tsuji throughout this gauntlet and giving his thoughts and analysis. So definitely strongly recommend you check that out. And I thought it was interesting, Ibushi was wearing his Tokyo Dome trunks for both guys that he wore on the 4th and the 5th of January. I don't know what more to say at this point. Yota Tsuji, he's really good, he's ready. Get him out of the black trunks. Into my bed. No, seriously. Hey! I hear Tsuji, he may be enjoying an English roast beef and mustard sandwich soon, so watch this space. Uemura versus Shingo, very, very good match. You know, we got the IWGP champion in there going toe-to-toe with a young lion and giving him a lot. And I think it says a lot about both men. You know, the versatility and selflessness of Shingo and the esteem in which the company and Shingo hold Uemura. I mean, the notable thing here, of course, the little breadcrumbs at the end, Uemura grasping for that title belt and Shingo dangling it in his face. You know, to me, that's the ironclad seal of approval that Yuya Uemura is going to be the guy. So, yeah, what do you make of both guys, Damon? Quick thoughts.
I mean, look, we know the next steps. We know that they're ready and probably beyond ready. Yes, the rumblings that everyone is hearing are the same rumblings and facts of they're on their way. Excursion time. And yeah, I don't think that there was any willy-nilliness about the fact of Shingo pointing that belt right at him and holding it right in front of his face and basically saying, I mean, the producers time-stamped that video, right, for future video packages for editing. Because, again, you nailed it. It's a breadcrumb. It's there. I mean, it's a very obvious breadcrumb, but I think it's very telling of the fact that the next time you see these guys come back, big things are planned. And I don't think anybody has a problem with that at all. I don't think anyone has a problem with that at all. Now, again, let's go back in time. We've talked many times about young lions and excursions and stuff like that. I'm not going to bring up Kwato. I'm not going to bring that up. But, again, it's not every time we get a home run. Not every time we get a perfect run back from excursion. In fact, a lot of times they're middle of the road. Sometimes they win. You know, sometimes it wins. It's a win. Sometimes it's not. I would be shocked, absolutely shocked, if these guys don't come back. And again, we're talking major stars. We're talking future Mount Rushmores. We're talking Tokyo Dome main events. I think that is the expectation, and here's the thing. That's a lot to put on someone to be like, okay, you know, you get ready for big things and don't fuck it up. And fingers crossed, you know, there's a lot of things that can go wrong in that process. But know that this company, they're looking at those two guys and saying to themselves, okay, we got ourselves the next 5-10 years invested in these two kids.
I'm going to ask you two questions, please, Damon. First of all, do you think both or one or either of these guys holds the IWGP heavyweight title in the future? And if so, in which year do you think they first win it? And then my second question would be, could you give both of these guys a letter grade, which is something J. Michael did in his piece. So what grade would you give both guys for this gauntlet matches they've had?
For the gauntlet, I mean, the gauntlet matches, here's what the gauntlet matches did. And I'll give the letter grade. I'll give a B for each, right? I'm going to give a B for each. But I think what this did was it gave them singles matches and time to get comfortable in the ring. And I know that many people have mentioned it, but you could see the progression for both guys kind of lose the nerves, maybe, or lose whatever. Like as there were more matches, they became more comfortable. Right? So I think it's unfair to be like one guy was better than the other because I don't think that's the case. But I think these were solid pro wrestling matches that captivated people, right? Captivated an audience to care. That's the most important thing. Simple pro wrestling works every single time, and this was proof of that. So B. Champions, I mean, look, if they spend a year away, right? So it is 21. Let's say they come back in 23. Okay? Let's say they come back in 23. Then I don't think either of them come back and instantly win world title. I think there's got to be a build. They're not coming back, and they're not going to be Okada, right? So 23, they come back. I would say 25. And I think both of them eventually will hold the title. Eventually. I don't see why not. But 2025, I would say, would be my that's when you start looking at, okay, main eventing Tokyo Domes and shit like that. 2025.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with that. Dan says, was the 2021 Kizuna Road Tour the best one in years? Usually it's a filler between Best of Super Juniors and G1, but all the matches felt meaningful this year. I would say sort of between the Young Lion stuff and the Never Six Man stuff, it is, one of the more memorable ones, and it's shone a light on maybe a part of New Japan that doesn't get enough love. So, I would say it's been a good one.
I mean, it's been good. I mean, truth be told, I can't sit here and tell you what were previous ones, right? Like, I don't know what we're comparing it to. It can't be anything.
I'll tell you two things I can remember historically from Kizuna Road. One, I remember there being a really good Hiromu versus Despy junior title match where Despy's got his mask pulled off. And if I remember correctly, a really good Elgin and Goto match for the Never title. Do you remember that one?
I mean, I remember it happening, but I don't remember things about it. But yeah, that might be a rewatch if I'm bored one day. I'll tell you what, Elgin had a decent run in New Japan. I really do. I mean, I think Elgin had a decent run in New Japan.
Yeah, I was always a fan of his in-ring work. I know he was. A lot of people weren't, and I saw. It was quite a divisive character, it's fair to say, but just judging strictly on the in-ring, I was always entertained by his output. I thought there was a nice catalogue of bangers there. Everyone talks about that Naito match at it was New Beginning 2017. That's a really good one, and there are other really quality matches out there. So let us move on to previewing Summer Struggle in Sapporo. So that will kick off on this Saturday, July the 10th in Hokkaido. So first match we got Master Wato and Kota Ibushi teaming up to take on Yuya Uemura and Yota Tsuji. Second match we got Yo and Ishii against Dick Togo and Evil. So again, maybe laying some seeds for that Ishii versus Evil singles feud that's coming up. Third match we have the return of Rocky Romero in Japan. Ryusuke Taguchi and Hiroshi Tanahashi taking on ELP, Yujiro and Kenta. So I wonder if we will see the reuniting of the Mega Coaches taking on the junior tag division. That would be good because I think Mega Coaches Rocky and Taguchi are a really underrated team. I think they were tremendous for the tag work that they've done in the New Japan Junior Tag Division. And of course, Kenta back here as well. So Kenta, just judging on this match, maybe he's going to be working with Tanahashi. Who knows? Fourth match, we got Sho and Okada against Great Khan and Jeff Cobb. So we got the Empire back. Fifth match, we got Bushi, Shingo, Sanada, Naito against Doki, Kanemaru, Zack, and Taichi. Main event, IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship match, El Desperado defending against Taiji Ishimori. There's two really good interviews on New Japan World, short but very good, with both these guys, Ishimori and Desperado, which I would recommend people checking out. And they're talking about what inspires them, what motivates them, what things they're envious of their opponents. I think they've got really interesting chemistry in terms of the two characters there, and Desperado talking about some of his sort of insecurity, some of the things that he thinks he's lacking compared to Ishimori. So that was a really interesting watch. I would recommend people check this out. So what are your expectations going into Despi versus Ishimori?
I mean, look, good is my ceiling, not my ceiling, but my bar, so to speak, right? I think everybody expects at least a good match. I think it'd be pretty great. You're giving them the main event slot. I think they'll go out there and have a great match, right? Main event the show, close it out. Title change.
Speaking of closing, Damon. Well, yeah, you said title change there. I think we may see the return of Mr. Hiromu Takahashi at the end of this match. So, if I were a betting man, I would say Despi retains because he was playing up that in the interviews that he thinks Ishimori is actually better than him. So I think he gets that monkey off his back. He proves he's the better man there. Then Hiromu comes out and challenges him, and then we get Hiromu versus Despi for the junior title at Tokyo Dome. That's where I think we're going.
Yeah, it's the money match, right? I think that's if you're looking at the juniors situation, that's probably the best on paper, right? That's where we're going. And I would agree. Good work. Yep.
And that will take us to night 2 of Summer Struggle in Sapporo, Sunday, July 11th in Hokkaido. So we're opening with Uemura and Sho against Kanemaru and Desperado. Rocky, Taguchi and Ishii against El Phantasmo, Ishimori and Evil. So again, I think that is telegraphing mega coaches challenging ELP
junior
and Ishimori
title.
For the junior titles, Third match, we got Yotsuji and Tanahashi against Yujiro and Kenta. So again, I think we're laying some groundwork there for Tanahashi against Kenta and possibly a singles feud. Fourth match, we got Yo and Okada against Great Okan and Jeff Cobb. So it looks like Okada might be feuding with either Okan or Jeff Cobb. Fifth match, we have Master Wato and Kota Ibushi against Bushi and Shingo Takagi. So a little taster there of our upcoming IWGP World Heavyweight title match at the Dome. Main event here, sixth match, IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Championship match. The champions, Dangerous Tekkers, Zack Sabre Jr. and Taichi, with their first defense against the LIJ team of Sanada and Tetsuya Naito. So interesting. Well, actually, first of all, what do you think of this match? Are you excited for it? Do you think it was a title change?
I don't necessarily need to see a title change. I don't necessarily need to see it, but again, I am the guy that is okay. If we're not dropping the title here, then we're dropping the title here, right? So imagine that, a Sanada Naito tag team champions. To me, that sounds really sexy. I would dig that. That would feel exciting, different, and this is what we always have wanted, was like to take these tag titles and let's be truthful. 2021 is the year of the tag titles, right? I mean, this company has done more to elevate their tag title situation than they have in years. Not just these, but again, we just talked about the Never Six Mans. Right? I think this is a fantastic main event. I think it'll be super fun. And yeah, what the fuck? Let's do it. Let's change some titles. Naito Sanada, I'm in. I like the idea of it. Let's do it.
Well, first of all, I'm really looking forward to the match. I think all four of these guys have got great chemistry. So, again, I'm looking forward to seeing Taichi and Naito lock up again. Sanada and Zack, I think, have got great chemistry as well. Naito and Zack have got really good chemistry. I haven't seen a great deal between Sanada and Taichi, but I just think with the personalities involved and the quality of the wrestlers involved, this is going to be really, really good. They're going to get plenty of time. It's in Taichi's hometown, Sapporo, so I think Dangerous Tekkers are going to retain here because, firstly, it's his hometown. Secondly, Taichi has been talking a lot about this Tokyo Dome defense that he is eyeing up over the horizon and saying that he wants to defend against Taue and Kawada. Now, obviously, he's not going to be defending against Taue and Kawada, but I did see a cheeky little tweet appearing a few days ago saying that he would like to see a challenge from Okada and Tanahashi. So maybe we might see at the Tokyo Dome Dangerous Tekkers against Okada Tanahashi, which I think would be just the cherry on top of the icing, on top of the delicious cake that is the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Title scene right now.
All right. So you have a choice. Tekkers versus Okada Tanahashi, or Naito Sanada Okada Tanahashi.
I'm taking Tekkers because I think just Naito Sanada Okada Tanahashi sounds like 4 singles wrestlers thrown together. Whereas I think having the Dangerous Tekkers, unity and cohesion and camaraderie there elevates it to be something else.
There is something to be said about that. Yep, I agree. When you have tag teams fighting for tag team titles, it does. Yeah, I'm with you.
And they deserve it. You know, Dangerous Tekkers does such great work with elevating the tag division and the tag titles over the last year or so. I think they are well worth a big title match at the Dome against a top quality team.
All right, so you're saying that these shows are basically setup shows, though, right? I mean, we got 2 main events, 2 titles. None of them are changing hands.
Yes. Yeah, that's the way I'm leaning. And then we're looking at a very sexy Tokyo Dome show if
we are.
All my predictions are coming off. So we would have Ibushi Shingo, we'd have Despi Hiromu, we'd have Dangerous Tekkers against Okada Tanahashi. So, you know, straight off the bat,
that's sexy.
That's 3 sexy matches, yeah.
That is pants fucking down territory. Not for nothing. That's I mean, that's a show right there. I mean, who knows how many people are going to be in that fucking building, but at this point, who gives a fuck? But that's a show. Woo! And speaking of show, maybe we'll have a GLEAT match. GLEAT.
Or not. Maybe don't have a GLEAT match.
Come on, have a GLEAT match.
I'm okay.
No,
thanks.
Have we done? Have we produced? Are we getting any feedback? Is it again pronounced GLEAT or GREAT? Or GREAT? Great.
I've seen conflicting reports. So I would say pronounce it in whichever way you think is the most amusing to you personally. And I like the idea of GLEAT. GLEAT just sound, it rolls off the tongue better.
I like shit. No, I don't know. I tried to watch that match, Joel. I tried to watch it.
So did I, but I couldn't find it on YouTube anymore.
Me neither.
We were
I
talk about it, but we're not going to. So fuck you.
Great. All right. I'm being ridiculous at this point. What else we got to talk about, Joel?
Let's talk about Strong. So we had Fireworks Frenzy. Did you watch the old Fireworks Frenzy? We had some interesting matches here. Let's go into it. Leo Rush defeating Adrian Quest in 8 minutes 19 seconds with a rush hour. It's a good match. I think Adrian Quest has got a lot of upside. He's got tons of experience. I'm just waiting for that breakout match on Strong that will hopefully, let us see that he is someone that's New Japan worth investing in. Leo Rush, I mean, I always enjoy watching him, but it's a little difficult for me to get too emotionally invested and excited in him, given the whole retirement situation. We do have a question. Andy says, Leo Rush mentioned in his promo on the last Strong show that he'd soon become, quote, the man in Japan. So is there any chance his remaining obligations go into November and December when Best of the Super Juniors is probably running? If not, what would an earlier scenario be for him to head over there? So, any thoughts on the match? And also, do you think we will see Leo Rush in Japan this year?
Okay, so I don't know what his New Japan Pro Wrestling obligations, what that all involves, right? So I don't know if it's 1 date, I don't know if it's 17 dates, whatever. But if we're talking about a guy who's now into November, we're still, like, why would you go and be like, all right, I'm retiring? and you have obligations until November. Again, I don't know if that's the case or not, but doesn't that seem silly to you? Doesn't that seem ridiculous to you? Like, why would you announce that you're retiring, and then, but I'm going to be wrestling until at least, like, what's he doing? Like a Michael Jordan retirement tour? What's going on?
Yeah,
it doesn't make any
my
sense.
inclination is that him saying the contractual obligations are stateside things with New Japan. Because, yeah, it would be really weird for him to say, I'm retiring, when he knows he's going to be wrestling at a fucking Best of Super Juniors later.
Right. I mean, he doesn't have a 2-year deal, but I mean, not that I'm aware of. So yeah, I mean, and here's another thing too. Like, I'm watching this show and I'm like, okay, here goes, Leo's, looking at the lights tour, we'll call it. And, he gets the win. And I was like, okay, that was weird. Okay, maybe they taped it before, I don't know when they taped it. But it was just like, okay, why would they? I don't know. Something's fishy here, Joel. Something's not adding up to me. Something's not how much contractual obligations does he have with New Japan Pro Wrestling? You know what I mean? And here's another thing, too. Since when do they have contractual obligations? Unless you're signing a deal. Like a year or 2 years? Like, do you know of any other contractual obligations another guy has that is literally per date? Like, did they agree upon 20 dates? 15 dates? I don't know. Maybe there's a way
he just wants to get the dream match with Master Watto done, tick it off the bucket list, and then he can hang up his boots.
I guess maybe, but it's like, this does seem like what are we doing? A retirement tour? Like, I don't know. This doesn't. And again, wouldn't you announce that retirement after you're done those dates? Like, what was the purpose of announcing the retirement if he's got 27 more dates to do for New Japan? Does that make any sense to you? Something's fishy, Joel. I don't know. Something's fishy.
Second match was Hikuleo defeating Jordan Clearwater 7 minutes 44 seconds with a Tongan driver. I don't have a great deal to say about this one. It was okay. Jordan Clearwater's entrance music makes him seem like a character out of the hit TV show Justified. That is my analysis for the second match. Third match, Fred Rosser defeating Bateman in 15 minutes 34 seconds with the Rosser Flosion, he's calling his finishing move. I thought this match Yes, yeah. This match has been built up really well, I think. The little sort of mini feud that was going on between Adrian Quest and Barrett Brown, and then Bateman getting involved, and then Fred Rosser coming in for backup. It was just, simple stuff, but I liked it a lot. And it was a good match. Gave Rosser a chance to showcase his selling and working from the bottom. But I want to see what Fred Rosser can do with an elite, top-tier New Japan opponent. Because his matches, they're very, they're TV taping matches. They're fine, but I want to see how he fares in a proper New Japan style match. That's why I mentioned the Tom Lawler thing earlier. I want to see, big spot against a quality opponent. What is Fred Rosser really capable of? Because I feel like we're kind of scratching the surface with Rosser so far.
I would agree 1,000% with that, Joel. Like, I want to see him in a big spot. And, the Hikuleo feud, I don't know if I would consider that a big spot. Yeah, I want to see, I'm going to see a 20-plus minute. Let's really go here. Let's really see what you got in the tank, and see where you stand on this roster. I'm going to see where Rosser stands on the roster. Pretty good, right? Stinks. That's why we're number one, Joel.
Fred, if you're listening, I apologize. This has been terrible. My performance on this podcast has been crap. Damon's has been even worse. We're just
What? How dare you?
No, I'm joking.
I woke up at
But he
5:30.
follows us. He follows us on Twitter now. We're mates. I'm really tempted to reach out to Mr. Rosser and ask for an interview because I think he'd be a fascinating person to talk to personally.
I tell you what, we don't do many interviews, right? I mean, we could count that on...
I hate them. I hate doing interviews. They really stress me out. I get incredibly nervous and flustered. But Fred Rosser is someone that I think would be worth putting myself through that trauma for.
I hate the technical aspect of it. Like, trying to get... for whatever reason, every time we bring it up, it's like I forget how to do it and how we're going to do this, how we're going to record it. And I always... That's my biggest panic of this whole thing is the fucking recording.
Yeah,
I hate it.
At the end of the interview, you could be like... You've accidentally not recorded it, or you've lost the file somehow, and so many things could go wrong. It's just that's why we don't do them. We don't like it.
That's why we don't do them. We don't like doing them. Now, if someone could set up a fail-safe method of us recording these things, we would do more. All right, here's a trivia question for you. Name the people that we have interviewed on the Super J Cast.
Okay, so Kevin Kelly.
Correct.
Fraser.
Correct. I didn't think you were going to get that one. Good job by you, yes.
Rocky,
correct. When he would plug in that nonsense show, right?
I think that's it. I can't remember. Oh, Editor Dan. After his
Editor
run with
Dan.
Michael Craven.
Yep. Is that it? I think that's it, right?
That's it, yeah.
I think those are
the Mount Rushmore of New Japan Pro Wrestling.
I mean, that's a select elite crew right there. Kevin Kelly, Rocky Romero, Editor Dan, Freeze, he just went. I was following him on Instagram.
Oh, I know, me too. I'm so fucking jealous of the trips that this guy goes on. Just like absolutely stunning vistas, like the natural landscapes of what is he sort of
New Zealand?
Around New Zealand. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, New Zealand, Tasmania. Yeah, he was. I mean, he's back now, but he's back in Japan.
I want to be Fraser. If I could be someone else, I would want to be him.
Me too. I mean, here's the thing. He can wear anything and it looks tremendous. You know what I mean? Like, he's got that very thin runner's body, and he can wear like a real nice tailored suit, and he's got that full head of hair. He's got that big smile.
Yeah, just effortlessly charming.
Yep. His wallet weighs more than him. You know what I mean? Like, he's doing all right for himself. He's living a life. That guy's living a life. Goes to all those G1 shows. He knows all the good
ringside seats. Yeah, he knows the wrestlers probably. Hey,
yeah.
What are you doing going out?
And he knows all the good spots to eat and drink. Like, he knows these little hole in the wall fucking places. Like, that's tremendous. Yeah, he's living the life.
Every time I see this fucking buggy, this stroller that we got from Akachan Honpo on the morning of January 5th, 2020, I think of the delicious sukiyaki meal that I missed out on, and I want to push that buggy down a hill. Not with a baby in it. But.
No, of course not. Yeah. You look at it with a little disgust. I mean, Joe, I don't want to rub salt in the wounds. To this day,
rub shoyu sauce in the wound.
To this day, me and Cheryl talk about that fucking meal and that day just being this whirlwind of fun and being whisked away in this little back room in this grand hotel. And the guys from Post Wrestling and Hanare, and it was just such a wonderful dining experience. The food
you wouldn't be able to do it again. Hanare, Empire. So Aaron Hanare is calling him now. These days, he'd dunk your head in the sukiyaki, wouldn't he? He'd be knocking your drinks over. So treasure that memory, Damon.
Yeah, I'll tell you.
More innocent time.
I just remember him. He he was weighing his food. Like, he's very diligent with his diet, but it was all protein. I mean, he had no fucking worry about. But yeah, it was like, such a fun day. We missed you. That was one day where I was like, he should be here. He should be here. But listen, sometimes you got to get that stroller, Joel. In the middle of Tokyo on vacation.
I want Esther to listen to this one and know the sacrifices that her father had made to transport her slightly more conveniently from point A to point B.
Right. Oh, what a life we live. What a fucking life we live.
Christ almighty. Right. Okay, next week on Strong, we have the Road to Tag Team Turbulence. DKC versus Barrett Brown. Alex Coughlin Challenge Match Series continues against PJ Black. And main event, really tasty one here, Rocky Romero against Josh Alexander. So, again, I'm a massive Josh Alexander fan. I'm really encouraged by the amount of times I'm seeing him pop up on Strong. Really hope they can work out a deal with him in the future. And main event here, Rocky against Alexander, should be great, I think.
Yeah, very good. Very good. Then you nailed it. I mean, I know we've been told to tranquilo, but it would be nice if we lock some of these guys down. Just saying. Let's lock some people down.
All right, well, let's get into some questions then. We have one question from the Discord this week from Dr. Poodle Papa, who says, Dr. Poodle Papa, and he says, Sports Damon, hot take, who is the premier Japanese athlete, Kazuchika Okada or Shohei Ohtani of the Los Angeles Angels. And Dr. Poodle Papa has included a link to Ohtani hitting a baseball through the roof of the friggin' Tokyo Dome. Have you seen this statement?
I have seen that before, yes. Ohtani is a fucking beast. And let me explain something to you, Joel. So this is a guy. Now, in Major League Baseball, professional baseball, pitchers are a very what's what I'm looking for? It's a very singular skill in that they throw the ball, and that's it. So they're not known for their fielding. They're certainly not known for their hitting. In fact, they're usually just absolute shit when it comes to hitting. This guy leads. I think he currently leads the league in home runs. Right. He's also a pitcher, so he'll play like the outfield, but he'll also pitch, and he's dominant as a pitcher this year. So the league has not seen anything like this guy in ever, right? Just ever. Like, he is dominant on pitching and a dominant hitter. Like, he's going to be the All-Star game has a home run hitting contest. He's in it. Like, he's a fucking pitcher. He's unbelievable. I have to say him. I have to say Ohtani. Like, he's doing something right now, currently, that no other baseball player has ever pulled off. He's a beast. I'm all in on the Ohtani.
Question here on Twitter from Trish, who says, with a lot of people comparing it with the main AEW story right now, looking back, do you think Naito should have beaten Okada at Wrestle Kingdom 12? And do you think Western fans think of it differently now as Kenny won the belt in the period in between?
I think, look, if we wouldn't have had a lot of magical pro wrestling moments, and for all the outside of the ring, and even some of the, we'll count it as outside the ring, whether it be the promos or the build or the elite or, all that stuff. All the stuff that we complained about. You go back and watch some of those fucking matches. And to not have the epic chase, him and Okada, Kenny and Okada, and there's a lot of good stuff that's in that mix. Again, I don't think anybody leaving that Tokyo Dome was expecting what we saw when Okada beat Naito. I think I can't say everybody. There were a lot of people that thought Naito was winning that, and he was the hottest guy in the company, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I don't know if I would give that up for what we got with Kenny. I think the positives with Kenny outweighed the negatives, and I think that I have no problem with that history of New Japan that resulted from Naito not winning the title. I know hindsight is 20/20, and would I have done some things differently? Of course, but I don't think I would want to give up what we got in ring with that stretch, and I think that's an important thing.
Yeah, for me personally, without that heartbreaking, tragic Naito loss at Wrestle Kingdom 12, I wouldn't have got my moment of joy as a Naito fan at Wrestle Kingdom 14. So narratively, I think I stand by the decision, even though other opinions are available. Bash says, where is Aaron Hanare? Out of sight, out of mind, it seems. We're sorry for the guy, just as he's getting a bit of a push. The dude has disappeared like a date who is ghosting you. Do we know the whereabouts of Aaron Hanare right now?
I think he's with Frazier eating delicious. I think they're delicious meats. I mean, look, he's there, but he's in the mix. We just rattled off a bunch of cards. He's looks like the Kingdom is there and rocking and rolling. I mean, here's the problem with that is with Will out on the shelf, being the leader. I don't know. I think they're kind of lost in what to do with him. But I mean, they're together. They're there and they're in the mix.
Oh, I'm getting galaxy brain ideas now because I'm looking at these cards where Hanare's not on. To be fair, these Summer Struggle in Sapporo. But we do have 2 matches with Great Okada and Jeff Cobb against Okada plus another. So,
wait a minute. Wait. So Hanari's not on any of these.
No, he's not.
I thought
He's not. So I don't know. Maybe he's back in New Zealand.
It's Cobb and O'Khan.
Now what I'm thinking is Cobb and O'Khan get wins over Okada, and then Okada Tanahashi get the tag titles at Tokyo Dome, and then their challengers will be Cobb and O'Khan. But none of that's going to happen. So there you go. Enjoy my
corn on the cob.
Corn on the cob. Yes, the corn on the cob team. Okay, Hoster says, in light of the announcement just a few moments ago, what are the chances of a legit New Japan Pro Wrestling video game? At this point, is a partnership, such as the most recent Fire Pro, about the best to be hoped for unless you're into mobile gaming? I can't say I know anything about the video game scene.
Let me chime in. I'm an expert on the video game. I think they're just waiting for one more pixel to be filled in.
They've got to upload the pixel. There's one pixel left, and then when that pixel is uploaded to the mainframe of the supercomputer, then they can hack the system and the.
Yeah, they're waiting for a hoodie. They need a hoodie to be put over their head so they can look
plug it
evil.
Make sure to turn it off, turn it on again, and the video game will be ready.
Well, here, you hear this? You know what this is? This is my USB hacking stick, right? I plug it in, and I have all the data, and then I push enhance, and I zoom in on a picture.
Enhance!
Enhance! You got to break into the mainframe quicker. I'm trying. It's not taking my password. It's every fucking dumb movie. And then, it's the chubby kid who likes computers. I hacked in. We're in. And then all the lasers. You know what I'm trying to say, right?
Yes, yeah, that was just, peak 90s action cinema, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like that, the bit in Jurassic Park with Lex hacking into the Jurassic Park service to lock the doors because those dastardly raptors were trying to get in. What were we talking about again? I can't remember what the question was.
Video game. Is there a video game happening?
We don't know.
Who knows? No, we don't know that.
Okay, let's give another question for Bash. This is for music, Damon. It's festival season here in the UK. What are your favourite bands / musicians you've seen at festivals or watched on TV, ones you would like to go and see?
All right. I saw Blur in Hyde Park, and I guess that would be a festival because New Order was on that show, and the Specials, and who else was on that fucking show? It was an all-day goddamn thing.
Have you seen that video of the footballer Charlie Austin doing a post-match interview to the Parklife tune?
No, but I want to see it because it's probably great. I will laugh my ass off with that.
Okay,
I'll find it.
I'm going to send it to you now because it's so. I was watching it yesterday. Actually, it's tremendous. Okay. Maybe this is one of those things, again, that I should share on Twitter with no explanation, like the picture of the big mushroom.
Yeah, let me see. Oh, Cheryl's here. Cheryl, do you want to... Oh, here's shit. I got Otani. Oh, look at that. My wife is wearing a lovely... It's like a what is it? Blue? Teal. Teal? This would be teal? Come on over. Come on, get in. So, how would you describe this summer dress? Very nice. Come on over. Joe, say hi to Joe. I know you have to go to work.
Hey, Cheryl. Wonderful to hear from you. How are you doing?
Yeah, she's go. Yeah, this is nice.
I gotta go.
All right, so give me a kiss goodbye. I'm going to grab her boob. All right, see ya. All right, very
nice way.
There you go. Oh, she smells nice, too. Ooh.
You're a lucky man,
boner.
Damon McDonald.
I got a boner right now. All right, what were we talking about? I was distracted there. She was just nice. It was like a teal dress, like a summer dress. It looked very nice. I was like, ooh, look at those cans. Ooh. Nice. All right, where were we talking about?
Let's get to it. Should we do one more question then?
Oh, one more question.
One more question.
All right. Well, you saved the best for last, right? Here.
Yes, because this is the important one, and I want to give it the time because we've got plenty of time here. Mally and Esther is still not back from the park, so let's. Okay.
Cheryl just left, so I got all day. Yeah.
The gravitas that it deserves. Neither of us are going anywhere. We've got plenty of time here. So, friend of the show, Antonio, writes in to say, you may remember his question from last time. Antonio says, "Okay, this time answer my question. No ignoring, and no manscaped jokes. or any other jokes. Just the full answer to my question, which is this. You guys said NJPW locker room was unhappy with Gedo and want him out of NJPW like some fans want. Do NJPW Higa-ups want him to stay, or they want him out, get a new booker to replace him? That's my question. Well, again, I apologise deeply for being frivolous with the question last week and transitioning it into a segue for our Manscaped ad reads. That was very poor form for me, and I'm sorry, Antonio. So let me take the time to answer your question properly. So, with regards to Gedo and whether or not the company wants him out, I can exclusively reveal